Hello everybody. One of the questions I get on a regular basis is, what is mast cell activation syndrome? And for people that think they have it, they're very confused because the symptoms are all over the place. They're not sure if it's mast cell or something else. The testing for mast cell activation is poor at best, and people are going for testing and being told that they don't have mast cell activation when in fact they do. The whole thing is just really confusing to everybody. So I figured I'd make this little video and try to explain it in the simplest way as possible. So here we go. Mast Cell Activation Syndrome, or MCAS, is the inappropriate activation of mast cells, not to be confused with mastocytosis. They're two different things. Mast cells are a type of white blood cell and part of your immune system. Mast cells are located all over your body, except in the retina and spinal cord. They respond to everything inside and out the body, and they tend to be higher in numbers in areas that interact with the outside environment, like the lungs, the skin, and the gastrointestinal tract. So picture a castle surrounded by a gate, and there are guards surrounding the gate. You're in the castle, by the way. When a person without MCAS encounters an illness or virus, also known as an invader, this is what happens. Chicken Joe. Yes, I'm using that name to show that that is chicken that someone eats that you can have a reaction to. Okay, ready? Chicken Joe shows up to the gate, and the guards are like, "Hey, what's up, Joe? Come on in. Nice to see you again." But then, a week later, Flu Henry shows up to the gate, and the guards are like, "Not so fast, Henry." And they rush to the gate and rush at Henry, and they're like, "Pew, pew, 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 pew," until Henry is defeated and the flu is gone, and then they retreat back to the gates at the castle. Additionally, a healthy immune system will have properly functioning antibodies, which I'm going to call Einstein snipers. And that's because our immune system, when it's working properly, is so smart. Einstein snipers remember Henry the Flu and how they defeated him. As soon as Henry the Flu comes back to the gate, the Einstein snipers come out and they're like, "Hey, Henry the Flu is here." Tags Henry the Flu, and Einstein's little eater cells come in and digest and eat that cell. Yes, they eat the bad cell, so all that inflammation can't impact the cells around it. This is why antibodies do a better job in the immune system than mast cells. However, when mast cells get recruited, this army becomes like the White Walkers from the Game of Thrones. I hope you guys get the reference. They don't understand or care who is friend or foe. Now this is someone with mast cell. Chicken Joe comes to the gate, Henry the Flu, and Vitamin Frank. And the White Army treats all of them the same. They sound the alarm, woo, woo, woo. They come out and basically blow the whole place up, an extinction level event. They don't care if there's collateral damage, they just go to where they are recruited to. Now when mast cells attack what they perceive as an invader, and in my example here it was simple chicken, the flu, and a vitamin. When that happens, they release histamine and hundreds of other biochemical mediators that create inflammation. This is called mast cell degranulation. Mast cells call more mast cells, and inflammation begets more inflammation. It's a vicious cycle. Then you're in the castle all by yourself. Nobody can come in, and you can't go out, and you can't get what you need. And that's why so many of us with mast cell activation syndrome have very few, if any, foods, supplements, or medications that we can tolerate. And that's because the White Army does not let our body accept them. Hope that example and that visual helped understand what mast cell was. But another thing you should know is this. Your mast cell symptoms depend on which mast cells are triggered. And that's why your symptoms can vary so widely, may seem so strange and difficult to diagnose. And your symptoms aren't the same from one mast cell attack to another. And that's why most people with mast cell activation syndrome feel like they're allergic to everything. Food, supplements, medications, sound, light, smells, the list goes on and on. Mast cell is a beast. And you know from Game of Thrones, that White Army is a beast. But there is treatment for the symptoms, such as H1, H2 blockers, mast cell stabilizers, and things like that. You just have to get into the right doctor that can make a correct diagnosis, and that's very difficult. For more information, please go to my website, www.thisisflox.com, and there's a whole section about mast cell activation syndrome and recommended practitioners. Thanks, everybody.